Let the world change you, then you can change the world. When the expert scientific knowledge is legitimated in terms of being rational, logical, efficient, educated, progressive, modern, and enlightened, what analogies can other segments of society utilize to challenge them? If you tremble with indignation at every injustice, then you are a comrade of mine. It is necessary to be hard, but never to lose the tenderness. Study hard so that you can master technology, which allows us to master nature. It's a sad thing not to have friends, but it is even sadder not to have enemies. The true revolutionary is guided by a great feeling of love. It is impossible to think of a genuine revolutionary lacking this quality. Silence is argument carried out by other means. Learning about freedom. 4. The very essence of human existence, knowledge, as the mind is an element that enables us to shift the winds of luck, reshape the forces of fate or destiny, and, ultimately, empower us to become free authors of our own lives. For the true art of human expression is the ability to express our dreams, thoughts, and emotions as we feel them or as they come to mind, as we search for universal equality, justice, peace, love, truth, and reality. It is important to emphasize that guerrilla warfare is a war of the masses, a war of the people. The guerrilla band is an armed nucleus, the fighting vanguard of the people. It draws its great force from the mass of the people themselves. The first duty of a revolutionary is to be educated. His wife spotted the danger in our resolutely bohemian ways. You have only 1 year left before you qualify as a doctor, and yet you're going away? You have no idea when you'll be back? But why? We couldn't give precise answers to her desperate questions, and this horrified her. The peasant must always be helped technically, economically, morally, and culturally. The guerrilla fighter will be a sort of guiding angel who has fallen into the zone, helping the poor always and bothering the rich as little as possible in the first phases of the war. Words without deeds are worthless. The only passion that guides me is for the truth. I look at everything from this point of view. If any person has a good word for the previous government, that is good enough for me to have him shot. Above all, always be capable of feeling deeply any injustice committed against anyone, anywhere in the world. I now know, by an almost fatalistic conformity with the facts, that my destiny is to travel. Be realistic. Demand the impossible. It is better to die standing than to live on your knees. When asked whether or not we are Marxists, our position is the same as that of a physicist when asked if he is a Newtonian, or of a biologist when asked if he is a Pasteurian. Whenever death may surprise us, Let it be welcome if our battle cry has reached even one receptive ear and another hand reaches out to take up our arms. Invariably, knowledge dictates life, liberty, and death. But those who have historically occupied the seats of power not only dictate what is defined as knowledge, but also dictate what's included, what's excluded, and how it is filtered to society vis-a-vis America's major institutions, particularly the educational system, ultimately shaping the very essence of life. After centuries of marginalization and neglect, we need to cast our own movements, projects, and ideas as a battle for relevancy in the face of historical manipulation, exploitation, and oppression. We need to fight, tooth and nail, for equity in all areas of social life. One point to make clear: ethnic and racial minorities are not looking for scraps or a handout from the old paternalistic system, but an equitable, stable, and leveled playing field. We must come to the inevitable conclusion that the guerrilla is a social reformer who takes up arms responding to the angry protests of the people against their oppressors, and who fights to change the social system that keeps all his unarmed brothers in ignominy and poverty. Remember that the revolution is what is important, and each one of us alone is worth nothing. To send men to the firing squad, judicial proof is unnecessary. These procedures are an archaic bourgeois detail. This is a revolution, and a revolutionary must become a cold, killing machine motivated by pure hate. We must create the pedagogy of the paradigm. I had a project for my life which involved 10 years of wandering, then some years of medical studies, and, if any time was left, the great adventure of physics. There is no other definition of socialism valid for us than that of the abolition of the exploitation of man by man. Homeland or death, we will triumph. The revolution is not an apple that falls when ripe. You have to make it fall. Cruel leaders are replaced only to have new leaders turn cruel. We cannot be sure of having something to live for unless we are willing to die for it. Every day people straighten up the hair. Why not the heart? Reflective learning provokes critical thinking, enabling us to pose relevant questions, revealing the profound oceans of ignorance that surround even the most learned scholars in our fields of modern knowledge, invoking us to be active participants in the crusade for equality, representation, and social justice. I am not a liberator. Liberators do not exist. The people liberate themselves. At the heart of the American paradigm is the perception that law and its agents, police officers, correctional officers, attorneys, and judges, are colorblind, and thus justice is impartial, objective, and seeks la verdad, the truth. But la realidad, reality, differs. Some give the impression they go on living only because it's a habit they cannot shake. The best form of saying is being. Always struggle for victory. Many will call me an adventurer, and that I am only one of a different sort, one who risks his skin to prove his truths. I finally felt myself lifted definitively away on the winds of adventure toward worlds I envisaged would be stranger than they were, into situations I imagined would be much more normal than they turned out to be. Youth must refrain from ungrateful questioning of governmental mandates. Instead, they must dedicate themselves to study, work, and military service, should learn to think and act as a mass.